From the powerhouse on Broadway, the Saturday Sports Show starts now.
And good morning. Hard to believe it's another Saturday morning here in the King City, but glad to be back in studio with you for the Saturday Sports Show. WMIX, WMIXsports.com is presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
It is what healthcare should be. And, of course, today we have a nice lineup coming your way, but it will be an abbreviated program for you. Of course, at 9:20, we'll have Lady Rams pregame coming up as Lady Rams softball opens their season from the Frozen Fairfield tournament. Of course, that is at Fairfield today. The Lady Rams will open up at 9:30 against the Heron Lady Tigers. We'll talk about that with Coach Lance Bolt coming up on the show. We'll also talk with Mount Vernon Rams baseball coach Tim Holloway. And then we'll wrap up the high school basketball season locally. We'll talk with Shane Garner about the Red Devils' run to a fourth-place finish in Peoria. We'll also talk with Brad Weathers. He is the head coach of the Nashville Hornets. The Hornets, of course, runners-up in Class 2A. So it should be an interesting program for you today, but that's not all. We'll talk with Dave Severin of the Benton Lions Club about the annual Lions Club All-Star Game at Ren Lake College. And when you think of All-Star Games locally, and regardless of how you feel about All-Star Games and selections and things of that nature, I think what the Lions Club does, the Benton Lions Club, and what they do at Ren Lake College is a little bit different than most All-Star Games because they go out of their way to make sure that they aren't missing anybody that deserves to be showcased in that game annually.
Well, they shoot for local talent first, as far as teams, mainly in the Ren Lake College School District, and then they start to span out to try to see who they can get, that fans have seen all around Southern Illinois, and then you throw that into the fact the money raised at Ren Lake College that night goes to a lot of items that the Lions Club gets for people who need some items. Glasses are one of the things that come to mind. I think the other thing, too, that was a very smart move by the Lions Club is the fact that they moved their All-Star game up. This used to be a June activity, the first Friday in June. Now it's the last Friday, or one of the last Fridays in March. And I think that's a fantastic move by them because now basketball season will not have been over. Basically, on 3A, 4A will be over a week. 1A, 2A will be over a couple weeks. That way you get guys who haven't really been away from basketball for no more than about a month for those that got beat out in the first round of the regional, or girls play 5-6 weeks. So a very smart move, a very prestigious All-Star game. A lot of people, a lot of kids have played in that over the years.
Well, they have, and what I like about it is normally the ink usually, or the publicity usually goes to the boys' All-Star games, but the Lions Club does both genders. They do a girls' game and a boys' game, and they run it well, and it's usually a nice showcase of local athletes and local talent and those who have excelled and put their time in on the basketball floor on an annual basis. So it'd be nice to have Big Dave on to talk about that, of course, and talk about how they go about getting the All-Stars, because they go through a very lengthy process. I mean, I know Dave in years past has reached out to us trying to figure out who should be there. He's reached out to local media. He's reached out to coaches, and the effort they put into trying to find everybody and leaving no stone unturned, I think, is second to none, and that's what sets it apart.
That's what it is, and I like the fact that they don't go and look for talent out way away. They start with in Jefferson County, in Franklin County, and then they work their way around the Southern Illinois region where you have the opportunity to get a lot of seniors that will play at Ren Lake that'll bring people to watch and get an atmosphere in that gymnasium. And a lot of those kids will not go on to the next level. I mean, that's a fact of life. They're going to be doing something else, whether it's sports or otherwise, and it gives those kids one last time to put on their high school jersey and play in front of a big crowd.
That's certainly nice to see, and hopefully a big crowd down there. Next week, we'll talk about all the details with Dave. We'll talk about how you can get in and the admission and all of the nice details about the Benton Lions Club All-Star Game. It'll be coming up here in just a matter of days now. But, of course, we also will take a look at Mount Vernon Rams baseball. The Rams got their start this week. Of course, you can find every pitch of Mount Vernon Rams baseball on AM 940. That's right here, as also online at WMIXsports.com. Rams will be back in action Tuesday. 1-2 right now on the year, but back in action Tuesday against Triad at home. Wednesday on the road at Waterloo. Thursday they'll take the day off. Friday they'll welcome in Decatur St. Teresa. All before heading into a road doubleheader on Saturday against the Green Wave of Mattoon. So that should be interesting. Always a nice little rivalry there on the diamond, of course, Rams baseball. We will also talk with Lance Bolt, as we told you, coming up, and the Lady Rams season will be getting underway. And we're trying something new with our coverage this year, in which we're actually going to cover most of the tournaments the Lady Rams are in on Saturdays. We've actually brought on a couple of extra staff members to make that happen here at WMIX Sports. So we'll have Lady Rams in tournament action. We'll have all of their games today from the Frozen Fairfield tournament. Again, a 9:20 pregame. WMIX News Director Chad Baker will have the call here on AM 940 as well as WMIXsports.com. Mount Vernon Heron at 9:30. If they lose, they will play at 12:30. Hopefully a win puts them in the 2 o'clock matchup against the winner of Fairfield and Marshall. But a nice little tournament, of course, we'll talk about with Lance Bolt. But when you think of good tournaments to start the year, for the Lady Rams, Fairfield's probably a good place to go. Fairfield, of course, Marshall, Mount Vernon, Heron, Carmi, White County, St. Elmo's a 1A power. You have Carterville, who's always an up-and-comer, and then you have Salem as well. So, to be able to see teams like Carterville and Marshall beat Cumberland this week, nice little tournament.
I like the fact that, you have Carterville and Carmi. Those are two teams that used to be in the same conference. A lot of rivalry, especially in junior high softball. Fairfield, of course, at home. Obviously, a pretty good program. Heron, of course, very good. They've got very good facilities. So, really like to set up this tournament, and the weather, tremendous today. These teams have got to be loving it in the first week of spring play that you can get out and get as many games as everybody has this week.
No doubt about that. Yesterday was an absolutely gorgeous day, and, of course, there's a lot of basketball played in the NCAA, but it's the beginning of the end of high school basketball in Illinois. Of course, your 3A state semifinals were yesterday. The Lincoln Rail Splitters beat Rockford Lutheran 45-42. Morgan Park beat Orr. Those are a pair of Chicago teams, 52-46. 4A semifinals, of course, Whitney Young beat Stevenson. We'll talk about that in a moment. But Bennett Academy, I always thought it was Benet Academy. Apparently it's Bennett Academy, and I'm just an idiot. Beat Edwardsville 38-33. But I think obviously a lot of the pub is going to go to Whitney Young Stevenson for obvious reasons. But Okafor, I believe, for Whitney Young going to Duke. And then Stevenson, of course,
They need help.
Yeah, Stevenson, of course, has. You had to forgive me on the first name. All I had to remember was Brunson.
Jalen Brunson.
What a game.
6 points.
Of course, afterwards he did something.
Hamilton County, McLeansboro fans may remember the name Jim Edmondson. He had 55 at one point in the Super. That was a team that Hamilton County beat in the quarterfinals at Champaign in '84. And that record was broken yesterday by Jalen Brunson with 56. The other stat of the day, if you can think about this, Bennett Academy brought 10 student fan buses yesterday to Peoria. Not adults mixed in. I'm sure there were chaperones. 10 student fan buses. That's over 600 students rolling their way to Peoria. They drove down, rooted the team on last night. Bennett Academy to win against Edwardsville. They drove back home. They're going to come back again tonight to Peoria and root on Bennett Academy again against Edwardsville. Very impressive.
Very impressive indeed. And, of course, you look at 3A and 4A state semifinals. We used to be AA, and, you kind of got the impression that I got the impression that, a Morgan Park in 3A, of course, would contend without an issue in 4A from watching the game. It'll be Lincoln and Morgan Park in the 3A state championship game, Rockford Lutheran and Orr in the third-place game. 4A championship game will be Whitney Young and Bennett Academy, and then Stevenson Edwardsville in the third-place game. Kind of got the impression yesterday, and Mike Waldo, phenomenal coach, great effort, great job every single year, every time out. Also a brilliant baseball mind. A lot of people don't know that. Kind of got the impression yesterday that the state championship game might have been the first semifinal between Whitney Young and Stevenson. Just a phenomenal game back and forth, Okafor and Brunson, and I don't think you could have asked for any more in high school basketball to start wrapping up the year. But Neil Alexander, of course, his team gets a state championship berth. It's going to be tough for the Rail Splitters against Morgan Park, though.
Well, it will be, but Lincoln has had that number one billing most of the year. And Lincoln, simply put, does nothing but win. That's all they have done. That's all they are doing. That's all they will do is the basketball program at Lincoln. Very good. And Lincoln has an opportunity today to get a win. And, of course, Lincoln is considered the Southern Illinois representative in all this in 3A. They came out of the Springfield Super, beating Cahokia on Tuesday night. So rooting on Lincoln for a state title, but like you said, I think the Whitney Young-Stevenson game last night was maybe the de facto state championship. Of course, Bennett Academy would like to argue if they rolled in 10 buses last night as students, they might roll in more than double than that. Who knows? But very impressive games last night. A great way to end the basketball season tonight in 3A, 4A in Peoria.
And if it helps put it in perspective, some of these teams playing in the 4A state semifinals or even the 4A postseason have more students than some of the 1A participants have in their entire communities. That's just a little perspective for you. Let's see. Tim Holloway, Mount Vernon Rams baseball to come. We still need to take a break here on the Saturday Sports. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll come back. We'll talk Rams baseball with Tim Holloway, head coach of the Mount Vernon Rams. It's all coming up here on the Saturday Sports Show. WMIX, WMIXsports.com, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back up to these.
A digestive problem can affect every area of your life. But now there's a specialist right here in town who focuses on digestive health. Mayo Clinic trained Dr. Tegpal Atwal has opened the only gastroenterology clinic in Mount Vernon. Dr. Atwal treats acid reflux, gallbladder problems, inflammatory bowel disease, ulcers, and more. For your appointment with Dr. Atwal at Crossroads Specialty Clinic, call 618-241-9071.
Learn to live healthy, learn to live well, and learn how you can live free from unexpected medical expense with a major medical expense policy from Pekin Insurance and the Page Agency. Health insurance that covers hospital, medical, and surgical expenses offers a wide choice of deductibles and a non-tobacco user discount too. Rising medical costs don't have to be a problem with a major medical expense policy from Pekin Insurance. This is coverage we hope you'll never need, but you just can't be without. Call the Page Agency at 242-7000 about a major medical health insurance plan today.
With the housing market picking up and rates still low, now's the perfect time to purchase a home of your dreams. Hi, this is Joy Schrader, mortgage specialist from People's National Bank. People's National Bank has several different programs to choose from to help get you in the home of your dreams. Stop by and see me, Joy Schrader, or apply online at peoplesnationalbank.com today.
People's National Bank, serving Southern Illinois since 1909, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Loan subject to credit approval. The Chevrolet Open House event is going on now at Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon. Come see the finest American-engineered and manufactured lineup of great vehicles, which come with free maintenance for 2 years or 24,000 miles, 336 bumper-to-bumper, and 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Toyota, Ford, and Chrysler can't touch this. Come to Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon, 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
And we welcome you back on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. It's presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
That's Danny Zerwinski. I'm Chris Hugo. Glad to be here with you until 9:20 today, an abbreviated program. Lady Rams softball, of course, taking the airwaves in. They'll have a 9:30 first pitch in the Frozen Fairfield tournament against the Heron Lady Tigers. Our next guest, of course, head coach of Mount Vernon Rams baseball. You can find every pitch of Rams baseball here on WMIX. He is Tim Holloway. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
You know what, I look at the start to this season. I see some positives, of course, early on, and I know, a team that's trying to find its identity, of course, having lost so much senior talent from a year ago that carried them to a fourth-place finish in the state. But I do believe that maybe with a 1-2 start, though, there are some great positives that we found thus far in the season. I thought that so far, especially going into Civic Memorial on Thursday, some of the bats are really starting to find themselves in the Ram lineup.
I agree. I think there are plenty of positives. It's never easy when you replace that many guys. So they're getting a feel for it. I thought we had quality at bats at Civic. And, the tough thing is, looking back this week, if we don't walk as many guys as we did, and if we find the zone a little better, then we may be 2-1 or 3-0. So those are things that, you don't expect to keep happening. Brock's not going to walk guys like that. And Thomas did a good job last year throwing strikes. So based on past history, you figure that hopefully we're going to correct those things, and I think our defense is going to be solid. We've played well the last 2 games, and as long as we keep having quality of bats and find ways to get on and limiting our strikeouts, then we could be a tough team to beat later on down the road.
Talk is one thing, actually doing it is another. Any inclination this week that your younger guys who are taking their first varsity at bats, doing their first varsity anything in baseball, are they starting to realize a little bit what the difference is between playing JV and playing varsity baseball at this level?
I'd say so, and we still have yet to see, and this is nothing against the pitching we've seen, that we have yet to see good quality varsity pitching that we're going to see. So, the breaking stuff's better, the velocity's a little faster. Change-ups are good, and the guys that we did see through strikes, and they did a nice job, but there are some tougher pitchers out there that we have yet to see.
Well, and of course, you take a look at the season to this point, a tough road loss to Salem to open the year, a nice win over Pinckneyville at home in the home opener before going to Civic Memorial in a stretch that'll start back-to-back games against the tough Mississippi Valley Conference. We talked about it briefly before the game at Civic on Thursday about how tough the Rams' schedule is starting out, how tough it is up and down throughout the year. How important is it to have that tough a schedule to prepare yourselves for the postseason?
I think you have to do it. And your record may not be as great as you want some years, and it's just you have to do it for the guys to understand that the little things matter, because you can get away with a lot playing a lesser schedule. You can get away with a ton of things, and it's not going to hurt you, and you still win. But even though those losses are painful, I think that you have to do it, in my opinion, to make yourself better. And you get exposed at times, and that's happened some this week. And the little things are going to depend on whether you come out on top. And there might be times with this group where we play really well, and we might come up short, and that's just the reality of it. But hopefully when we get down the stretch, we've been through enough of those battles and understand that how important those things are, that it can make a difference for us.
Second spring in a row, everybody's getting outside early and often, not only practices, but able to get a lot of games in. Last year's experienced group, they knew what they're going into. This year's group getting outside as much as coaches and coaching staff. How does that help out this early in the season, no matter what year it is, to get out and get games in this beautiful weather we're having so far?
Well, I think it's helped us this year more than anything. We needed to, before we get into our conference season next week, not this coming week, but the following week, we need to get these guys some game situations, some reps, some confidence, let them get settled in and just get ready to play together. We've got a lot of guys playing together for the first time, so this year is more important than usual. I feel like historically we've had pretty strong starts, but we're more interested in how we're playing in May. So we want to be playing our best brand in baseball in May, and I think that this early start hopefully will help us going into the conference season.
Going in the next week, a very difficult week of non-conference games, Triad and Waterloo. You get a day off. You got St. Teresa coming in, a new addition to the schedule, and then at Mattoon in that traditional doubleheader. A nice week and a nice variety of teams. One new one in St. T's. Your team gets to go up against at different levels of baseball.
Well, I guess it's a nice week. It's going to be a challenging week, and that's what we like. So we're going to have to play well. Everybody's got a few at-bats under their belt. We get a home game with Triad, and we've always had good games with them, and the same with Waterloo, and then obviously with Mattoon. That series, we've been playing them forever. So Decatur will be another challenge this year. We've got a lot of games this week, and we're going to need everybody to pitch and throw strikes and give us a chance to win.
Well, and plenty of chances to win coming up, and of course, that brings us to our final question, and we're not going music this time, I promise. But we want to know, maybe you do a bracket, maybe you don't, but how is your NCAA tournament bracket doing after 2 days of play?
Well, once again, I with the Pee Wee basketball, my oldest is starting his baseball this week. I've been busy with the Rams. I have not filled out a bracket, so I did get to watch that all the one game last night with North Carolina. I got to see some of that, but unfortunately, it's one of my favorite things to do is to watch that tournament. I haven't been able to yet, but I'm hoping to catch some games this weekend.
Of course, Pee Wee, you brought it up, so you've led me into it. Your Pee Wee team, of course, were champions this past week.
Yeah, I guess you could say Pee Wee basketball is about learning some fundamentals and learning how to play. So, that was a little bonus. But have fun with the little guys. I really enjoy that. And, those guys playing together at their school, it's always fun. And starting the youth baseball now, we always have fun with that as well. So, it's more about just getting together and learning some fundamentals and having a lot of fun at that age.
Amen to that. Tim Holloway, we will see you on Tuesday when the Rams play Triad. Good luck this coming week.
All right, guys. Thank you.
That's Tim Holloway, head coach of Mount Vernon Rams baseball, and definitely does not the type that seeks a lot of publicity for himself, but always tries to diffuse it on his kids. I appreciate that. But at the same time, he mentioned a key word there when talking about Pee Wee basketball. Fundamentals, and probably one of the more fundamentally astute coaches, along with Quinn McClure, and of course, you take a look at Danny Clark and JV, along with Scott Gamber, a great fundamental staff, along with Tom Fulkerson. Ryan Mauer's now on the squad this year as well, as far as your Ram baseball coaching staff, but they're all doing a great job. And I think 1 and 2 right now is a tough pill to swallow, but you're not going to be 1 and 2 or necessarily under 500 the rest of the year. But if you do remain under 500 with this tough of a schedule, you're not going to win 25, 30 games every year.
You're not. Even a school the size that Mount Vernon has and the amount of talent baseball-wise, you're just not going to keep it up. I mean, there are so many great teams that Mount Vernon plays, conference and non-conference. that will step up and test your mettle. I mean, this week is no exception. I mean, that's a brutal week of games for any team in Southern Illinois to go up against Triad Waterloo from that Mississippi Valley and then to turn around and get St. Teresa, one of those private schools, and then doubleheader with Mattoon. You're going to learn a lot this week if all those games get in.
And definitely one of the tougher schedules. I mean, I've looked at quite a few schedules all across Southern Illinois, and the Rams definitely have one of the toughest. So you take a look, and you take a look at some of the youth on this team, and yes, some senior leadership and doing a great job, but regardless of what were to happen this year, you take a look as things start to gel, you get to look forward to that for a year, maybe 2 years to come with that same lineup. So it's kind of like starting back, not at square one, because I don't mean it that way at all, but a nice starting block for more success. And, you know, we look at 1 and 2 now and kind of almost act like it's the end of the world. That's not the case, but Rams baseball always on the right track. Another program on the right track, Lady Rams softball. We'll talk with head coach Lance Bolt after the break here on the Saturday Sports Show, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
This is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. Imagine this. You're driving down the road. It's dark as can be outside. Thank goodness you just had that left headlight bulb replaced. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see a thing. Now, close your eyes. Okay, don't close your eyes. You're supposed to be driving. Imagine noticing a slight twinkle off to the left, just above the ditch. What is that, you think to yourself? All of a sudden, whap! You've just encountered your first deer hit. The left side of your vehicle is beat up pretty bad. The next thing I want you to imagine is very simple. Picking up your phone and dialing 1-888-LANDERS to set up your repair. Deer claims are common, and usually a very simple process, which fall under comprehensive coverage. This is Chase Landers asking you to allow Landers to be your collision repair shop of choice. Whether it be a deer hit, fender bender, or the regular, uh-oh, sorry mom, Landers is here for you whenever you need us. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
Your spine is a miracle of engineering, so when pain strikes, your body is telling you to get help fast. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois is proud to feature their spine care team. Doctors Kowalski and Smith, the professionals at Orthopedic Center, specialize in back and neck pain. So put our spine care team on the job. Find out more online at orthocenter-si.com. Stop the pain, fix the problem, and enjoy life again. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One Account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC.
Back on the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Your home for Lady Rams softball today. Of course, every game that they're in at the Frozen Fairfield Tournament, we'll have it for you here. 9:20 is your pregame. Chad Baker has the call of the Lady Rams and the Heron Tigers. 9:30 is your first pitch. Speaking of which, we welcome the head coach of Lady Rams softball, Lance Bolt. Lance, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Is the excitement finally kind of come to a head? Season finally starts today. You get underway. First pitch, of course, at 9:30 in the Fairfield Tournament. And taking a look at the bracket up and down, this is a great tournament for the Lady Rams to get their start.
Yeah, we got Heron today, 9:30. Heron's a good team. They've already played 3 games this week against really good competition. We this is our first one. But I think the girls are just really excited to be out here, and it's kind of cold. It feels about like 32 out here, but I don't think that even matters right now. They're just happy to play a game.
Happy to play a game, a practice for a couple of weeks almost, it seems like. You had that first day where it snowed and kind of snowed everybody out. But getting outside, getting out to do things, now getting to play tournament games, what's that mean to your team this season to get out as much as you have?
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, this last week the weather's been great. We've been outside a bunch of inter-squad games this past week just trying to get in game mode. We've been outside a lot, actually, a lot more this spring than we were last spring, this time last year. So that being said, though, there's nothing like playing real competition against other opponents and seeing, what we need to get better at. And And just, I'll tell you what, we got about 15 girls who are probably good enough to start in the starting lineup. And my toughest job right now is just trying to figure out a starting lineup because, like I said, we got a bunch of girls who could play a lot of different spots and be in there. So the good thing about today is hopefully we can get in. We'll get in at least 2 games, hopefully 3, depending on how we do, and we can get a lot of girls' chances and take a look at them. So this is just a great opportunity for us. I love this tournament. It's a great way to start the season.
Been a while since we've heard about the Lady Rams in softball here on WMIX. Give us a taste and give us some names that you're going to be relying on this spring season.
Yeah, well, we got a couple seniors. We got Mallory Garner and Colleen Scoble. Mallory started at third base last year, and she can play a lot of different positions. She'll probably play some at third, maybe at first and second base also, just depending on who's doing what, when. But Colleen's another girl who can play the infield for us, and she'll be coming off the bench this first game, and that first time we need somebody to come off the bench and get us a base hit, she'll be the one I call on. But we have a big junior class. Hannah Carbonero, she's our catcher. She's phenomenal, good athlete, tough as nails, a lot like her dad, just really tough behind the plate. And then we got Carly Verheyen, Micaiah Rush, Alexis Stewart, Bailey Huff, and I'm forgetting some, and then Hannah Wright, Lauren Wilson, Rachel Kirsch. We got a big junior class. And then our sophomores, I tell you what, most of our pitching comes from our sophomores and our freshmen. But today, this first game, we're going to start Haley Shelf on the mound. Hannah Wright has been coming off an injury, a shoulder injury. I don't know how much we'll get to use her today on the mound pitching, but we got Casey Little, and then a couple freshmen, Danielle Barshetsky and Bria Meyer also can throw. So I think we got a deeper pitching staff than we had last year. They're just a lot younger.
Well, and of course today you have this Frozen Fairfield tournament. Then you come back, home opener in the Jefferson County Invitational, and then going to Olney on Thursday. But you have the invite on Monday. What do we know about the Jefferson County invite? Is it the same teams as last year?
As of right now, it's the same type of deal. Of course, we didn't get that in last year because of bad weather, but we're going to play. Mount Vernon is going to play Woodlawn at 4 o'clock, and then we will play DuQuoin at 5:45. Woodlawn will play us in Waltonville, and DuQuoin will play us in Waltonville. So that's kind of the outlook on that.
Well, it's a nice home opener. Of course, you get some county rivalry in there. You also get a nice test in a team like DuQuoin before heading to.
DuQuoin's one of the better teams that we'll see this year. Absolutely,
no doubt about that. But then you go to Olney, a new team on the schedule this year. A nice little road trip, a community you're familiar with. What kind of game is that going to be on Thursday? Olney is should be 3A, I think now. Of course,
Olney's a 3A school. That's where I grew up, and my old basketball coach is the AD over there, and we got to talking, and we thought, why don't we play each other? We're both 3A schools, so, and he got us scheduled a varsity JV game for this Thursday, so hopefully we can get that in. I mean, I know looking ahead as a softball and baseball coach, you're always looking at the weather, but I'm just hoping we can get those games in Monday and Thursday next week over spring break. But just talking about today, we got some girls who banged up a little bit. You wouldn't think softball is the biggest contact sport in the world, but I guess it is. And this past week in practice, we've had some girls get banged up. So I know Lauren Wilson's a big. She's a threat for us in the middle of our lineup. Had a great year last year, and she's not going to be able to play today. Got bumped in the eye on a ground ball, and her eyes is completely swollen shut, so she can't play. We got a couple other girls who are banged up, so it kind of stinks. They've been looking forward to this all winter, and now they can't play, but for her, at least it's not a serious thing. She'll be back in a couple of days, hopefully.
Final question for you. No, you got to get busy. Get on the road to Fairfield is our social media question of the week, and this week's question is, how does your NCAA bracket look after 2 days of play?
Well, actually, I didn't get to see the final games from last night. I got aggravated. Somebody got beat last night that I was just like, man, but so far all my big teams are still in there. I know Duke was one that I only had going one round anyway, so that didn't bother me. Ohio State was another one, but I still got all my Final Four teams in there and all my Elite Eight teams, so I'm not doing that bad.
Not bad at all. I know quite a few people have already lost their Elite Eight teams. So, Lance, we wish you the best of luck today. All of your games today, of course, on the radio. If Chad's not already there, he'll be there shortly, of course, in Fairfield. And we wish the Lady Rams the best of luck.
Guys.
Thank you. That is Lance Bolt, head coach, Lady Rams softball. Of course, Lady Rams' first game of the season against the Heron Lady Tigers. 9:20 pregame, 9:30 first pitch here on WMIX and WMIXsports.com. We need to take a break. We'll come back. We'll have Red Devils head coach Shane Garner. Of course, Cesar went to state. Comes home with a fourth-place trophy. We'll talk about that with Coach Garner after the break here on the Saturday Sports Show, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Mount Vernon is home to many wonderful people and things, and that includes quality cardiac care from Dr. Ruzaik Ibrahim. A skilled cardiologist, Dr. Ibrahim's training and scientific accomplishments have earned his designation as a Fellow of the American College of Cardiology. His services range from preventative care to the treatment of advanced heart conditions. For an appointment with Dr. Ibrahim at Crossroads Specialty Clinic, call 241-9071 or visit in person at 4113 South Water Tower, Mount Vernon.
Hi, Roy Schmidt, Ford Lincoln dealer at Ford Square, Mount Vernon. Construction, heavy hauling, emergency vehicles, agriculture, forestry, utility services. Within these and countless other essential industries, the guys and gals who do the toughest work count on one heavy-duty truck more than any other, the Ford F-Series Super Duty. Day in and day out, built Ford tough. Diesel and gas powertrains enable F-Series Super Duties to pump out plenty of horsepower and torque, along with great fuel economy. At Ford Square, we have cashback incentives up to $5,500 on F Super Duties and a great selection right now. Come see one of our sales associates at Ford Square, 1501 Broadway in Mount Vernon, Illinois, where the best never rest. And you can also view all of our inventory, new and pre-owned, at fordsquare.com.
And we're welcoming you back on the Saturday Sports Show. WMIX, WMIXsports.com is presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
That's Danny Zerwinski. I'm Chris Schugle. Glad to be here with you until 9:20. That's when Lady Rams pregame will take over. Chad Baker has the call of the Mount Vernon Lady Rams and the Heron Lady Tigers. Before we get to softball, though, we begin our wrap-up of a very successful local high school basketball season. We welcome to the program head coach of the Cesar Red Devils, Shane Garner. Coach, good morning.
Hey, guys. How are you doing this morning?
Very good. I know you're doing very, very, very well. Of course, a fourth-place finish in the state, a fine representative for all of Southern Illinois. But tell us a little bit about what it meant for you to take the Red Devils to Peoria in your first season.
Oh, it was very special for all of us. The kids had a blast. They made memories that will last them a lifetime. It was great to see them, be able to have the successes that they had. And also for our community. It's great that it's funny how a game can bring so many people together. But it was great to have, the communities of Valier and the communities of Cesar just kind of rally around these kids and just have a really, really great time these past couple of weeks.
Any similarities or differences? You were a part of the 2010 team as an assistant. You're the head coach here in 2014. What are the similarities and differences between those two runs for that basketball program?
I think one of the main things was just the mindset of the kids. In 2010, they kind of had a rough spell, through January, and then, kind of when tournament time rolled around, they made a decision, and that was to focus on the team and to focus on the different things they could do. And, I've seen a lot of the other similarities with this team is, they just kind of focused down. They said, this is something we want to do. Let's give it a run for it. And, they focus on the team aspect. They focus on the defensive end. And I'd have to say the mindset of both teams kind of really kind of propelled them into where they were going.
Last weekend, of course, we haven't talked to you since the weekend before when you won the sectional. And then, of course, you had Dietrich at Carbondale. The experience of playing in the SIU arena had to be a blast for your kids, because last time Cesar played in the Super was at Salem High School, but this time your team got to play the arena. What did it mean? I know, obviously, a big win. What did it mean to play at the arena this time around?
Oh, it was awesome. That was a great experience, for myself and also for the kids. Living so close to SIU, our kids go down there to games all the time. They've been watching the Salukis. They're all, Saluki fans. And, for them to, it was really neat because obviously we got to play the first game, and then to be able to walk out in that arena and they had to walk around on it, walk on the floor, and no one kind of be there just yet. They were able to kind of soak it up. So, it was very special just for them because it was kind of like a lifelong dream. They've watched a lot of games on that floor, and they were finally able to play one of their own on there.
Well, and just a great run by SV, of course, all the way up there to Peoria, of course, talking about your first year and having so much success. We asked Chip Basto the same question back in 2010. Is the bar set a little bit too high now? I mean, are the expectations going to be way too high now that you've gotten a trophy in your first season?
Obviously the public will have their own expectations for me, and there's not a whole lot I can do about that. But, I sat down with the kids, and after that fourth place, finish, sitting in the locker room, obviously our seniors were having their moment, but, our juniors looked around each other and they said, you know what, guys, we got a lot to work on. So, our kids know that they're not done, and they know there's always something that they can work on to get better. So, as baseball gets over, when we get into summer, we're just going to go back to the grind and just kind of carry on for where we were. Now, wherever that leads us, that leads us. But right now, we're just going to focus on making ourselves individually better and also making our team better.
I got to ask this, when you return, obviously the scope and the gravity of the situation last week, the intense spotlight, the quickness of the week, going from Carbondale, no sleep, getting up, getting packed, getting stuff to the IHSA, rolling up there, playing 2 games, returning back. Did you realize how big this was going to be as far as the community and treating the kids and your coaches and you as royalty when you got back? And is it still going on that way even a week later?
It's kind of, and I think one of the best things we do is stay the night Saturday night. It allows the kid to kind of relax a little bit and enjoy the rest of the weekend. They kind of, go enjoy the 2A games, which was a fantastic finish to the weekend. Our kids got to experience. But on the ride home, there was, obviously the kids were knocked out from the start, and so all the coaches kind of got together and were able to talk about it. It was really deep. And, once the kids kind of woke up, they, even though they finished fourth, they were still able to kind of experience the gratitude of what they were able to do. And then, when we rolled into town, obviously it wasn't a very good day weather-wise Sunday, and we still had all our fans out there, bracing the rain and the ice and the wind and, all the cold air. And so it was very special then to realize that, hey, we did do something pretty cool here. So, our fans were fantastic out there greeting them as they came home. So, it's very special. And as the exhaustion wears off, you kind of realize that a little bit more.
That's what I got to ask. When did everything start to slow down for you this week, or has it? Does it still keep going?
I would say Monday night. We had our little celebration Monday night with the community, and kind of as we were able to get through that ceremony, and a bunch of the younger guys, they came through and got autographs from our kids, and as we were signing autographs for the younger kids looking down at our team, and just seeing the smiles on their faces, it was the stress and all the tiresome and all the stuff that we had gone through was kind of being lifted right there, and you could just see the pure joy on their faces, which was pretty exciting.
On the Videotron, they interviewed you up at Peoria, and they had a jersey in the background, had number 22 on it. Did you purposely place that jersey in back with you in it, or was that just coincidence?
I did not, although Luke Thompson was sitting there right next to me, and they just came in and said, hey, we need a jersey. And so obviously I went to him and drafted it just because it was the number of choice. But I purposely did not do that, but I kind of, I think there's a message there.
We talk a lot about youth, and you bring up Luke Thompson, and a popular photo on Facebook, probably about at the time you guys won the sectional title, was of you in high school with a very, very young Luke Thompson. How important is it for younger kids about that age? I assume Luke was probably about a toddler, 4 or 5 maybe in this picture. How important is it for kids that age to see this type of success, have your kids be role models, and then in turn come up and later play for you when they get to high school?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge, and we're getting to the point, and we've kind of set this precedent the past couple of years is, our kids are pouring back into the younger kids. Right before we left to go to Carver on Saturday, we had members of the 2010 team up there pouring into our current team. And those are kids that they looked up to, when they were in junior high and elementary school, and it's very special, and it's great to see the younger kids take excitement in basketball. It's also great to see them and our kids talk to them and say, hey, this wasn't easy. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of dedication. And it's great to see the younger kids, I have elementary teachers come up and tell me, on the playground, kids are, playing games now, they're all this, and all of a sudden, hey, tomorrow we got to take off because we're traveling to Peoria. I mean, in their own minds and their own imaginations, they're already getting ready to go to Carver Arena to play for a state final. So it's very special to see the younger kids,
take such a great appreciation of it, and to have those start forming those dreams of their own.
Of course, that leads us to our final question, the WMIX Sports social media question. And this week we're asking everyone, how is your NCAA tournament bracket doing after 2 days of play?
Oh, I was all right after day one, but the Mercer Duke game, I'm not a Duke fan, but I had them going a little bit just because of their talent. And, I might have had them in the national championship, so my bracket you could pretty much just wad up and throw away right now.
Well, that's what happens when you bet on them.
Can't rely on Duke.
Should bet on Kentucky, I know.
Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow real quick, too.
Oh, Coach, congratulations on a great run. Thank you for being such a great representative of Southern Illinois, and also thank you for the thank you card. We just got that this morning.
Hey, no problem. Thank you, guys. You guys are the best, and we greatly appreciate you.
Appreciate it. That's Shane Garner, head coach of the Stuttsville Red Devils, one of the good guys, and just appreciate everything that he brings to the table as far as being a great representative of the coaching ranks, and Sessler being such a great representative of Southern Illinois last weekend. Another great representative for Southern Illinois was Nashville. The Hornets, of course, finished as runner-ups in Class 2A. They're the public school state champions. We'll talk about that with Coach Weathers after the break here on the Saturday Sports Show, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
We're back after these.
I'm Jeremy Pearson with a look at your next rad weather. It will be colder today with a blend of clouds and sunshine, high 52. Cloudy, breezy, and colder tonight with a little snow passing nearby, especially across southern areas, low 28. Sunny to partly cloudy and colder tomorrow, high 43. And Monday we'll see some sunshine, turning cloudy and chilly, high 46. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Don't just dream about a better job, go get it with scores of programs that take 2 years, 1 year, or even just a few months to complete. Rend Lake College is your gateway to a career you'll love. From nursing to coal mining, from computer programming to cosmetology, and everything in between. Rend Lake College is affordable, convenient, and ready to get you trained for your new job fast. Call us at 618-437-5321 or visit us at rlc.edu.
The health of your kidneys has a big impact on your overall health, affecting everything from your blood pressure to your bones. And if you ever have a kidney problem, Dr. Kangura is here to help. Dr. Kangura trained at the Mayo Clinic and specializes in conditions ranging from kidney stones and uncontrolled high blood pressure to chronic kidney disease. Dr. Kangura sees patients at Crossroads Specialty Clinic. For an appointment, call 618-241-9071.
And we're welcome you back. Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
That's Danny Zerwinski. I'm Chris Hugo. We're here with you until 9:20. It's an abbreviated program. Lady Rams softball will take the airwaves after that. So glad you could join us here as we welcome the head coach of the Nashville Hornets. They are public school state champions in Class 2A, runners-up overall. He is head coach Brad Weathers. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
What a great run for the Hornets. To get to Peoria, it had been a few years, of course, under your expert guidance. You have a tough super sectional win, of course, over the T-Town Wooden Shoes, and then a pretty well dominant performance over Petersburg Porta in the semifinal before running into Bloomington Central Catholic. Just a great run for Hornet basketball.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, we thought it was. In a run that we could have possibly gotten beat in the regional. At sectional at every point, there were games that, if we didn't play well, we certainly could get beat.
Looking at your team, I thought against Mount Carmel got off to a hot start. A T-Town team in a super since last time we talked to you, a team that was going there for their fourth time. I thought your team really put on a good performance in that game because you kept the pressure on T-Town, and I thought as you led down the stretch, T-Town kind of crumbled a little bit because knowing they'd lose 4 in a row. But I think your team caught so much momentum at that DuQuoin sectional and that super to help them into that big win against Porta and go to the second place finish. Talk about those games in particular.
Well, I certainly think that we gained confidence with each postseason win, and played through some adversity there. And actually, T-Town took the lead by a point with somewhere in the middle of the fourth quarter, and made a run. And we came back and made her free throws. So even though that toward the end we had the ball game, they did make a run and actually took a short lead. So got to credit our kids. We had some points like that where people made runs on us, and we survived that.
Looking at your team, and I thought with, obviously Royce Newman gets a lot of ink. I thought Johannes and other guys really stepped up in this run because I know Newman got a lot of attention, but I thought a lot of other guys, Thorson especially, talk about the other guys that stepped up that kind of carried your team, not only in leadership veteran roles, but really stepped it up on the floor as underclassmen coming into this run.
Well, you are right. Beginning of the year, with the season that Royce had last year and finished, when I look back over the stats, Royce led us in every ball game up until the modern day tournament, led us in scoring. And he was getting more and more attention. It took us a while to adjust to that, even though we knew that was the case. I felt that the difference in the second half of the season, and we were playing a pretty tough schedule, was two things. And one was the fact that our scoring became much more balanced. Other people were stepping up when they were when they were doubling and really covering up on Newman down low. And the other thing was, defensively in our zone, we continued to get better in it. And talking about those other kids, offensively, we had 6 different kids lead us in scoring the second half of the year. And, that was through our starters. Clint Johannes is the other big kid. Dylan Mueller's the 6'6" kid we had on the point. He's a junior. Daniel Thorson had some big games for us, 20 and 25 in the T-Town game, and defensively was very strong for us. He's a junior. Keegan Anderson, who was a 3-year starter for us, in a senior guard, us in scoring in a ball game, as well as Hunter Beatley, who was really came off the bench for us, but logged as many minutes as any of the starters. So those 6 led us in scoring at one point in time, in the second half of the season, and that really. That really solidified our team offensively and made us a much more, threatening threat to defend.
You made a run in '89 with Carlisle to the state title at Champaign. You make a run here at Nashville in 14 to second place. What similarities and differences between those two runs have you seen, had you thought of as you went through this process?
Well, that was a generation ago. The difference is we were expected to be there in '89. We were ranked at one time. We were ranked 1 during the middle of the season, and until we got knocked off in a shootout by Springfield Calvary and Randy Clemens. We were 6'8", 6'7". All 5 starters could really, really shoot the basketball. We had 5 kids could shoot the 3. This year's group, we struggled somewhat early. I think after Christmas tournament, we were 8-5. We were going through a lot of adversity, a lot of injuries, kids trying to find the roles, us trying to adjust to a new defense. So there were a lot of differences. The similarities, of course, are every team's got adversity. Every team's got to fight through something. Every team's got to stay healthy at postseason. And playing well at that time, and those are all obviously there.
Well, and of course, just a great run by the Nashville Hornets. What does this mean for next season? You lose some talent, but of course, Royce Newman, who gets a lot of the pub, still just a youngster. What does this mean for the Hornets, of course, in 14-15?
Well, we think we're going to have a good ball club again next year, like we did this year. We lost 3 seniors coming into this past season. That meant a lot to the program, and it took us a while to adjust to those roles. Even though we did have a good nucleus back, and I'm sure that'll be similar to this year. We actually have 7 seniors that graduated. Garrett Guest was injured, didn't get to play till the very, very end of the year, and a couple others off the bench, and of course our starters that mean an awful lot to us. So. Even though we've got a good nucleus, we're going to have some young kids step up and fill those roles. But we anticipate that they will, and we think we'll be have a quality team next year.
Our final question for you is our WMIX Sports social media question of the week. And knowing how smart your AD is in his selection and routing of his college basketball team, our question is: how does your NCAA tournament bracket look after 2 days of play?
Mine looks pretty blank. I didn't even get to fill one out. Got busy and didn't get the thing in for the first time. I think in recent memory. I can't believe that I actually did get filled one out. But I know that Neil Hammond, our athletic director, is in mourning. At this point in time, and we all feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
Not really.
No, I know you don't feel sorry for him. No.
Probably been spending too much time around Bo Meyer if you didn't have time to fill out a bracket. I know that. Coach, congratulations again on being a great representative for Southern Illinois, and very proud of the Hornets for bringing home second place in Class 2A. But the public school state champion, that's important.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks for the coverage.
That's Brad Weathers, head coach of the Nashville Hornets, of course. And you take a look at a guy that's in a great thing with any program he's been associated with over time. And when you really think about it, I did the calculations. I can't remember if he finished up 6-1 in what would be considered state finals games, because you lose one. It's not it would be, because you have the Super. You would have had 3 games at Champaign in '89.
4-0. Yeah.
And then 2-1. So 6-1. In state finals games. That's a heck of a record, and so close. A triple overtime game, probably one of the instant classics in terms of all-time state championships.
Yeah.
But the public school state champion in the state of Illinois is nothing to be ashamed of.
No, not at all. It hurts, and the shock, I think, was still there even the next day with people I saw and talked to from Nashville and basketball fans around Southern Illinois. They're rooting for the Hornets last weekend, and it was tough. It was a loss. But, again, when they look back, second place is nothing to sneeze at. And if anybody in the state of Illinois would take a second place in any sport and state, no matter what.
I know I would in anything. But there we go. This is the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. We still have Dave Severin to come. We'll talk about the Lions Club All-Star Game that is set for this coming week, of course, at Rend Lake College. We'll talk about that with Dave Severin after the break here on the Saturday Sports Show. It's presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
If you've been trying to buy a car with a challenging credit history, you've discovered that it can be discouraging. But there is good news. I mean really good news. Not all buy here, pay here dealerships are the same. Second Chance Auto really is different. For 34 years, Second Chance Auto has guaranteed to give you the best value for every dollar you spend. Listen, did you know that at some dealerships, if you buy an $8,000 vehicle with minimal down, it could end up costing you $2,000 more? At Second Chance Auto, they'll explain how you can save more on the total cost of your vehicle. No surprises, just honest deals, bank rate financing for all, and a truly dependable vehicle with the best value for your hard-earned dollar. This tax season, use your refund where it will go the farthest. Let Second Chance Auto earn your business and your trust. You won't be disappointed. Second Chance Auto, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Call today, 244-4582.
If you can't pick us up where you live, move. This is WMIX, Mount Vernon, Marion, another Withers Broadcasting Station.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. By now you have heard about our new One Checking product. The new One Account is a high-interest earning, free checking account designed for everyone. Unlike other banks that pay interest on higher balance, this account pays interest on all balances. From high schoolers to Warren Buffett, One will work for you. You can talk to one of us at 244-3000 and learn about the details. One, exclusively at Community First Bank. You will be one happy customer. Member FDIC.
This is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. Imagine this. You're driving down the road. It's dark as can be outside. Thank goodness you just had that left headlight bulb replaced. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see a thing. Now, close your eyes. Okay, don't close your eyes. You're supposed to be driving. Imagine noticing a slight twinkle off to the left, just above the ditch. What is that, you think to yourself? All of a sudden, whap! You've just encountered your first deer hit. The left side of your vehicle is beat up pretty bad. The next thing I want you to imagine is very simple. Picking up your phone and dialing 1-888-LANDERS to set up your repair. Deer claims are common, and usually a very simple process, which fall under comprehensive coverage. This is Chase Landers asking you to allow Landers to be your collision repair shop of choice. Whether it be a deer hit, fender bender, or the regular, uh-oh, sorry mom, Landers is here for you whenever you need us. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. 1-888-LANDERS That's 1-888-LANDERS.
Too expensive to get back into shape? Not anymore. Rend Lake College's new fitness center is only $53 per semester. They've also thought of everything with universal machines, free weights, treadmills with dedicated TV screens, ellipticals, and more. Qualified dance instructors are also available. Or go at your own pace with DVDs that can be used in the exercise room. Best of all, it's open 7 days a week. Check out the Rend Lake College Fitness Center in the Marketplace off Potomac Boulevard in Mount Vernon. Or log on to rendlakecollege.edu/fitcenter.
This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Wilt. I want to thank Mount Vernon and the surrounding area for continuing to support us over the past 5 years. If you have never sat down with someone to go over your insurance program, let me invite you into our office. Let us show you what working with the industry leader, represented by a local agent, can do for you. I'm located just off 42nd Street. You can reach our office 24 hours a day at 242-1421 or on the web at tonywilt.com. Thanks again, and go Rams.
Hi, Roy Schmidt, Ford dealer, Ford Square, Mount Vernon. We have one of the hottest car lines in the industry with the Ford Fiesta, Focus, and Fusion. The Ford brand was the top-selling brand in the United States in 2013, and we at Ford Square are determined to make that happen again in 2014. Ford is number one because the Fusion hugs curves and embraces fuel efficiency. The Focus is your friend at the pump and your love on the road. And the Ford Fiesta is taking fun and efficiency further. We have over 40 of these cars in stock right now waiting for you. We can offer huge cashback savings and want to deal. We will do anything to make 2014 even better and keep Ford number one. Come see our associates at Ford Square, 1501 Broadway, Mount Vernon, Illinois, and we will show you why the best never rests. You can always view our new and pre-owned inventory online at fordsquare.com.
Enjoy March Happiness in Woodlawn at Knoll Furniture, starting with fresh new furniture styles, all sale priced. Plus, for a limited time, receive a free cookware set with any Paula Deen purchase of $2,000 or more. Just imagine a beautiful new bedroom, dining room, or living room, and Paula's famous cookware free. Plus, get ready for spring and save 20% off store-wide at Knoll's General Store. Be happy! Shop Knoll Furniture and Knoll's General Store for March Happiness.
A digestive problem can affect every area of your life. But now there's a specialist right here in town who focuses on digestive health. Mayo Clinic trained Dr. Tegpaul Atwal has opened the only gastroenterology clinic in Mount Vernon. Dr. Atwal treats acid reflux, gallbladder problems, inflammatory bowel disease, ulcers, and more. For your appointment with Dr. Atwal at Crossroads Specialty Clinic, call 618-241-9071.
Welcome back, WMIX, WMIXsports.com. Saturday Sports Show is presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Of course, we welcome you back here. Proud to welcome to the program. He is with the Benton Lions Club today. At least that's the hat he's going to wear. He is Big Dave Severin. Big Dave, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
You know, doing pretty good. Can't believe it's time to talk about the Benton Lions Club All-Star Game already, but that is a great event that you guys put on at Rend Lake College every year. One of the finer showcases of local talent.
Hey, thank you very much. And time flies, and we're ready. It's the 36th annual, and it's coming up this coming Friday night. And we've got players, picked coaches, practices Tuesday night, and we're ready to roll.
What have we got going on game-wise on Friday night? What time they start, who's playing, and what time both games?
Sure. We have two games. The girls' game is at 6 o'clock, of course, at Rend Lake College Jim Waugh Gymnasium. The guys' game is at 8 o'clock. We do a three-point shootout at the halftime of each game. We do a dunk contest before the guys' games while their legs are still fresh. And then we've got kids coming. We try to pick the top 30 boys and top 30 girls seniors from throughout Southern Illinois. So we're literally picking kids from about 55 different schools. And so we've got kids coming from all over the place, and from as far as Mount Vernon area, I'll just throw this at you. Fairfield's got Tristan Fry and Simpson coming. From Mount Vernon, we've got Claire Ryan and Scarborough are playing for the girls' side. Shikari Hawkins and Pike are playing on the guys' side. We've got kids coming literally from all over Southern Illinois.
one thing about your all-star game, it's just not an all-star game. People come out. There's not just a boys game. You have a girls game. The other factor is the Benton's Lion Club also uses this as a fundraiser. Talk and tell our listeners, what kind of things does the Benton's Lion Club do with the money raised at this ball game?
Yeah, great question. And actually, the Lions Club was started, forgive me for not knowing what year, when Helen Keller was alive. She challenged some guys to get together and start helping people that were blind and had vision problems. So Lions, what Lions International does is we collect money, raise money to buy eyeglasses for people that can't afford them. So what we do with this money is two things. We buy eyeglasses for anybody in the Benton area that needs eyeglasses, and then also we have 3 scholarships we send kids from the surrounding area to Rend Lake College each year. So I tell people that if you are listening today and you know someone that needs eyeglasses, you literally contact your local Lions Club, and they will help buy eyeglasses, not only in Mount Vernon or Southern Illinois or Illinois or the United States, but literally we're in every country in the world. So if you're in Zimbabwe today listening to WMIX and you need a pair of eyeglasses, you go to the local Lions Club and they'll buy them for you.
That is truly a worldwide thinking kind of thing if somebody is in Zimbabwe listening to WMIX. Hopefully they are.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Yeah, hopefully they are. And one of the things, too, is this Lions Club game, I mentioned earlier in our show, is that it used to be in the first Friday of June, and that was a long time between basketball and that game. I think the move to this and for last Friday in March has really helped your All-Star game as far as kids haven't been out of basketball that long, and the product has gotten a lot better because of that fact they haven't been away from basketball as long the next Friday night.
You're exactly right. It was a no-brainer. This is our 36th year. Coach Heron started it back in the day, and they did it was kind of a practice showcase game before the SIBCA, that's baseball, the IBCA All-Star game they have in June. That's when they came up with it. But this works out great. Everybody's still in shape. People are thinking about basketball, and it's a great time to have it.
Great time to have it. One of the other things, too, you mentioned about the players picked. I think what you and your people do is that you pick out kids, what I call basically from the Rend Lake College area, and then start working your way on the outside fringes of that to get players in, because you want those kids. They may or may not be playing at the next level. A lot of them won't in this basketball, but it gives them another opportunity to play one more time in their high school jersey in front of their fans one more time at Rend Lake next Friday night.
You're exactly right. That's it in a nutshell. Back in the day, I keep saying that because Coach Heron, he and Ron Heron and Dick Korn and Brad Weathers, they were literally, those 4 guys were in a car driving to Bloomington. They'd pick the guys, and there wasn't a girls' game; it was just a guys' game. Well, we added the girls' game, but then the other thing is the criteria was you had to be all conference, all South, all state, whatever. Well, our criteria now is just what you said. You got to be all conference, all South, or we like you, and because there's some kids that, like you say, that opportunity for them to put that jersey on one last time, fans get to come and see them. And the other thing, too, sorry for doing all the talking here, but the other thing we do is we have this mandatory practice Tuesday night. That's when we pick who the teams are going to be. So it may be that, Danny, if you and I are on the same team, we might be on the same team from, Zimbabwe playing, but we're on opposing teams for this All-Star game, so it makes it a lot of fun.
Well, that's too, and I think, too, is that the draft, you have to be at the practice on Tuesday night, then you have this draft, and guys that have been on each other, been rivals, maybe on the same team, been on the same team, will now be on opposite teams. I mean, this adds to a different flavor for the guys and gals, is that you might be going against people, this, to me, I call it the afterlife of high school. You're going to be with guys and gals you were enemies with. Now you're going to be friends with. This is where it begins.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And the other thing, too, we make that practice mandatory, but we've got players, we already know the coaches, or they've contacted us. They've got a baseball game that night, they can't come. Actually, Nashville's basketball banquet is Tuesday night. Cesar's basketball banquet is Tuesday night. But those coaches have already contacted us, so we're aware that the players aren't going to be there, but we're going to, pick them and put them on a team. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. We love it, and we look forward to doing it every year.
How do you go about selecting the coaches on an annual basis? I know you've had a nice variety of head coaches and assistant coaches for each team, boys and girls, over the past few seasons, right? Every year.
Well, here's the criteria for the coaches. They have to be able to read and write, so that throws some of them out. And then and after that, I go through the book, and look to see who has already done it. We try to do a kind of one and done thing. So we look at coaches that would appreciate the opportunity and are easy to work with and want to do it for one thing, and it meets their schedule. Believe it or not, there's spring break going on. Coaches doing this, that, and the other. A lot of stuff going on. So just try to contact just different ones from the different conferences, give them an opportunity. And the only no's I ever get are, hey, I've already got something going on. Or we're out of town that day or whatever. But otherwise, coaches are very, very congenial to work with us, and we appreciate that.
Is the other requirement knowing your phone number at your place of business, the last 4 digits in order or more digits as some of the commercials go?
Yeah, you have to be able. You got to know that number. And as Rodney Watson called me one time, he said, "Dave," he said, "I called that number that Coach Heron gave me." He said, "I got China."
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, and the coach is in Florida, so he won't hear this, but Coach says, "Seth, how come everybody makes fun of my ad? He thinks he's giving the right number out."
I know. That's the scary part. That's the scary part. Our final question for you is also scary. We want to know today on our Saturday sports show, WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week, how does your NCAA bracket look after 2 days of play?
Well, I told my wife we ain't getting $1 billion.
No, you don't need $1 billion.
Well, Mercer, I had Mercer once, but the doctors gave me a shot and I got rid of it, but I like Mercer.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Everybody did yesterday, just about.
Yeah. So we're good with it. But Wichita State, I'm going to go watch them play. I sure hope they can. I shouldn't say that, Danny. Oops, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. I'm used to it. Every game we play, everybody wants us to lose. It's okay.
Yeah, but that's the way it used to be at Benton. You didn't care who won, just as long as they beat Benton.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Of course, Big Dave, one more time before we let you go, run down the time and date and how everybody can get in and watch this game.
Sure. Rend Lake College, Friday night, March the 28th. The girls' game is at 6. The guys' game is at 8. We'll have a top 30 girls, top 30 guys, seniors playing. And that's Friday night. And we look forward to fans coming out, parents. And if you want to see a little basketball one last time for the seniors in Southern Illinois, come see us, and we'd love to have you be there.
Amen. Big Dave, best of luck on Friday night. Thank you for taking the time to join us today on the Saturday Sports Show.
Okay, thank you.
That is Big Dave Severn, of course. You might know his voice pretty well. Of course, Coach Heron's voice, that famous phone number. Of course, we have plenty more to talk about here on the Saturday Sports Show. More after the break. Brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
I'm Jeremy Pearson with a look at your next rad weather. It will be colder today with a blend of clouds and sunshine, high 52. Cloudy, breezy, and colder tonight with a little snow passing nearby, especially across southern areas, low 28. Sunny to partly cloudy and colder tomorrow, high 43. And Monday we'll see some sunshine, turning cloudy and chilly, high 46. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
How can we keep the people we love safe and secure in their own home? Let the Medicine Shop's home medical equipment team help you with all your mobility and specialty product needs. They provide mobility products like motorized scooters, wheelchairs, and home stair lifts. The Medicine Shop's expertly trained staff can also provide car and van lift installations, and they offer a full service repair facility for medical equipment, whether you purchased it from them or somewhere else. Here's pharmacist and pharmacy owner Eric Black.
We service a 60-mile radius area, so a pretty wide area. We service orders from several area hospitals, and we have the staff in place that really sets us apart. We have 3 respiratory therapists and 2 seating specialists to help with seating on wheelchair and power chair needs. And we just feel that we have the staff and the warehousing and the facilities in place to really set us apart from any of our competitors in the area.
The Medicine Shop Pharmacy, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
And we're welcome you back. Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Not enough time left today, of course. 9:20 is your pregame. Actually, here in just a couple minutes for Lady Rams softball. They open up their season from the Frozen Fairfield Tournament. right here on AM 940 and WMIXsports.com. The sports show, meanwhile, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
There you go. That was Danny Zawinski. I'm Chris Hugo. We hope you enjoyed today's program. We'll be back at it next week, of course. We'll have another full lineup of local coaches and local guests here to talk about local sports. Don't forget Rams baseball. Every pitch of it is right here on WMIX and WMIXsports.com, which is where you can also find our broadcast schedule. We'll go to Chad Baker, of course, with Lady Rams softball. Your Landers Collision Center's pregame show is next.